Call the Thursday, May 19th, Boone County Board meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. We will start with Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a opening invocation from Mr. Wiltsey. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we turn to the Lord in prayer, I'm mindful of Philippians 4:6 that says, with praise and thanksgiving, bring your petitions and prayers before the Lord. We are speaking to the creator of the universe who is on the throne and is sovereign. And so as I begin this prayer, I just want to tell you that that's on my heart, Philippians 4:6. In Psalm 139, it says that the Lord knew us in our mother's womb, formed us, and knew every day we have. My wife and I pray about that, and we pray about what happens in this country and what is happening in this country and how badly torn apart it seems to be getting. And one of the things we do every morning, and this is very appropriate for this crowd today, is we pray for police officers, deputy sheriffs, TASA agents, Border Patrol agents, CIA, FBI, men and women in uniform of police officers or deputy sheriffs, or Army or Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, people that come and seek to protect us daily with their lives. Father, I ask that our prayer tonight is that these men and women are protected daily, physically and spiritually, and know how much they are appreciated and how much we love them. Protect them, Father. That is our prayer. We ask and pray these things in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Carl Johnson.
Here.
Sherry Beasley.
Here.
Sherry Bartell.
Here.
Brian Curry is absent. Freddie De La Trinidad.
Here.
Mary Larson.
Here.
Yoder.
Here.
Ronnie Riley.
Here.
Bill Robertson is absent. Steve Schabacher.
Here.
Tom Mulver is absent. David Wiltsey.
Here.
Ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Geeske, second by Mr. Mr. Schabacher. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'd ask for a motion to approve the April 21st, 2022 County Board minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wiltsey, second by Mr. Larson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Did we get any email public comment at all? We have one person for public comment, Mr. Richard Wolf. Wolf, if you would please get to the microphone, state your name and address for the record for us, please.
Okay, is the microphone on? Can you hear me?
Does it appear to be on?
It's on?
Tap it
Okay.
once and move it up higher so you don't have to lean over so far. No, slide it up.
And hold it if you want, or you can do it.
Okay,
There you go.
okay, gotcha. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Richard Wolf, 9698 Spring Road. As I've heard while attending previous Boone County board meetings, we are a complaint-driven county to enforce code issues. A public speaker a few weeks ago said, Boone County has X amount of residents, and there are X amount of Latino residents, and Garden Prairie has around 300 residents. Why are the Garden Prairie people complaining and trying to control the board? You are the governing body for this county. Yes, we have questions, concerns, and complaints. This doesn't make us racist, but we are concerned because we have two rodeo/concert arenas about a mile apart. When one is playing on a weekend, then the other, another weekend, we're getting blasted. Temporary use permit 4.2.3 special use and regulations, A, animal show. Number 1, prohibited activities, states no tailing. Changing that to horse tailing does not protect the bull or the steer from this abuse. No animal should be pulled by their tail. It is part of their backbone. In my opinion, a board member appeared to be intimidated by a member of the audience, and he told them to stop it or he will have them removed. Last Tuesday, I was at the ad hoc meeting. An audience member yelled at a public speaker, "Your 3 minutes is up." The race card was played by another public speaker, and then a news station was reporting on racism. In my opinion, all of these are forms of intimidation. Another public speaker has said, a drone was seen at an event in Ogle County. What if someone in these large events that are trying to police themselves pulls out a gun and tries to shoot it down? My best friend is a police officer, and he is scheduled for training for this exact scenario next month. Several of the rodeo concert events are going to do what they want with or without permits, and they are already doing that. Please protect and preserve our heritage of peace and quiet of living in the country. Please do the right thing for the county and the people who already live here. Please don't be intimidated into something that isn't right or fair to the others who are neighbors next to these events. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Seeing no other public comment, we'll move to appointments and recognition. We have no appointments, but we do have some recognition.
Good evening, board.
This is one time, Sheriff, we won't really put you on the timer since you're.
That is good to hear. I've never listened before and I'm not going to listen to it. With that being said, before we get started, it's important to know when we do recognition for our corrections people, these are really I will say, since they never consider themselves the face of the department, they're also the face of the department. These are the guys that don't get all the credit, that aren't all the pretty boys out on the street, that get the thank yous. These are the guys and gals that work behind the scenes in the trenches, dealing with a lot of issues. And I speak monthly up here about the mental illness that they deal with back there. I mean, these are the mental institutions are now the Boone County Jail. I have two guys in the audience that last week were actually attacked. One's got a black eye. The other one's got a blown out shoulder that's probably going to need surgery, hopefully not. But these are the individuals that nobody ever, talks about. And it's important that, the board and the community recognizes the hard work that the corrections people do in the back. It is a tough job, especially in 2022. It has absolutely changed with the type of abuse that they deal with. Like I said, the mental illness, the substance abuse, it is a tough job. So we felt it was very important to recognize a couple officers, 4 officers tonight. And I would ask if John here could come up. He's in charge of the corrections facility. All these guys have been up since before 5 a.m. this morning. They actually worked today and they spent the time to come up here. Actually went home and changed in their fancy uniforms. And we're very, very proud of them to come here tonight. And that's why we wanted to recognize them. I have in the audience, we have Sergeant Shane Whitehead, Sergeant Jody Ewers, David Beatty, Chris Gates, Darren Gagliano, AJ Zinke, another Sergeant Matt Harling, and we have the corrections nurse Melissa here. And I think it's really cool to see that all of them come and support the people that rarely get any credit. So with that being said, if I could have Chris Gates, Dave Beatty, and Darren Gagliano, and actually Kirk Phillips is another one that would have been receiving an award. And feel free, if you want to take a picture or anything, Jody, you can come up and take a picture. Kirk Phillips would also be receiving a Life Savings Award tonight, but he decided to go fishing down in Alabama? Georgia. All of them will get an opportunity to speak. And I know Chris has been kind of dogging me for the last 2 weeks about talking. And, I think I'm going to cut you short because we just, for time management reasons, I'm not going to have any of them talk. So with that being said, let's start off with, let's see what we got here. Okay, Chris Gates, if you could hold on to that, or John, could you? David B. We'll start with those guys first, and then Kirk Phillips would also been part of that. So let me grab the sheet inside there. I'll just read you real quickly what they're being recognized for. And again, both these awards tonight dealt with mentally ill individuals. And I think that's, kind of gives some explanation when you actually hear what happened. We talked a little bit about this a couple months ago at a board meeting, but we wanted to bring them forward with this. So the first award is a Life-Saving Service Award. On February 23rd, 2022, shortly before 3 p.m., corrections officers Christopher Gates and David Beatty was notified by corrections officer Kirk Phillips, who was working the control center, of an inmate attempting to harm themselves. Without hesitation, Officer Gates and Officer Beatty responded to the cell and removed the inmate's head from the toilet where the inmate was attempting to commit suicide. Officer Gates and Beatty provided immediate necessary life-saving measures, including CPR, to the inmate. The inmate was transported to Swedish American Hospital, where the inmate made a complete recovery. Both these officers, you are commended for your quick actions during a very stressful event. Your actions saved a person's life and brought credit upon yourself and the entire department. On this date, the two of you are receiving the Life Saving Service Award. Work that, all those inmates back there are our responsibilities and the county's liability. So when these officers do things like this is absolutely huge for the county. Not to mention they saved a person's life, but even financially with the county, these guys got to be on top of it constantly with these people. And this is the type of mental illness that they deal with on a regular basis. So they did just an outstanding job, and Kirk Phillips was also part of that. The next award is a meritorious award, and this is going to be given to Darren Gagliano. On February 18th, 2022, at approximately 9 a.m., corrections officers Darren Gagliano was conducting a sick call in the intake area of the Boone County Corrections Facility, along with the corrections nurse, Melissa, who's in the back. The nurse was conducting an evaluation of a female detainee who was at risk for possible self-harm. At the conclusion of the evaluation, the nurse asked the detainee to sign a medical release form. The detainee signed the form, then suddenly lunged towards the nurse with the pen still in hand, wrapping her arms around the head and the neck of the nurse. Officer Gagliano, without hesitation, engaged and subdued the inmate without any injury to the nurse or the inmate. Officer Gagliano, you are commended for your quick action and professionalism during a very stressful event. Your actions brought credit upon yourself and the entire department. On this day, you are awarded a meritorious award. Before we clap, I should say the nurse is a superstar back in our corrections facility, dealing with all these different inmates. She's hardcore. That is, that is a job that's very difficult to fill, that nurse's position, when you have to deal with inmates who are constantly trying to con you for meds, who are constantly playing the game. You have to be hardcore. You got to be a stud. So go ahead and stand up, Melissa.
Yeah, I was going to ask, could you stand up?
So both these really nobody wants to stand up. I don't want to give everybody the opportunity. They did tell me that they would like to stay for the whole meeting, but we're going to take a couple pictures. And since they've been up all day, I think they're going to cut out a little early. So thank you, board. Thanks to the guys and the men and women back in our corrections facility. I just can't tell you what a big deal that they are.
Ms. Gieske?
Could you have all of their colleagues out there stand up so we can get to see them?
Sure,
too?
they're all looking pretty for the most part.
Well, I don't, pretty, it doesn't matter. Here they are.
I'm just
Okay.
giving Matt a hard time, so. It really is just one shift of 4. And like I said, they deal with this stuff every single day. Most of the stuff, we don't report everything. These guys deal with these characters every single day. So many more deserve awards, to say the least. But again, I can't say enough about these guys, the unsung hero. The cops always give, the treats and the nice job when they're out and about. And, unless you actually get arrested, you're never going to see these guys. So again, thanks to the board and thanks for all these guys for what they do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for what you guys do for the county. Dave, you're welcome to take pictures here. We'll wait for you for a couple minutes.
Well, they may need some help on the way out, so I'm stick with them.
Sheriff, I'm reminded that we need to add Joyce and I, correction officers, to our list of people we pray for daily. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, reports from community agencies. We don't have one from Council on Aging. There is one from Growth Dimensions you would have seen in your packet. I would like to just point out for the record and read for the record, there's been a lot of questions and concerns regarding the status of Growth Dimensions as a charitable organization. And in case you missed it, and I would like to read it for the record, this is a letter from the Office of the Attorney General, State of Illinois, Kwame Raoul, dated April 26, 2022, addressed to Growth Dimensions for Belvedere, Boone County, 401 Whitney Boulevard, Belvedere, Illinois, 61008, regarding status of Growth Dimensions for Belvedere, Boone County under the Illinois charitable laws, CO number 01016033. It says, Dear Registrant, this letter is pursuant to your request. The Attorney General confirmed the status of Growth Dimensions for Belvedere, Boone County under the charitable organization laws. This organization is currently registered with the Attorney General's Charitable Trust and Solicitations Bureau as CO number 01016033. As of April 11th, 2022, the organization was in good standing, having filed its financial report for the period ended December 31st, 2020. It remains in good standing as of April 26th, 2022. Please let us know if you require further information. Sincerely, Jamalia Evans, Compliance Manager, Charitable Trust Bureau, 100 West Randolph Street, 11th floor, Chicago, Illinois. So that way that can be into the record for Growth Dimensions. They've taken some abuse here recently. Next up, CASA.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Bartel,
I'd like to address what you just said.
you could do that during board member comments. If you like, you can do that during board member comments.
Yeah, I certainly will.
That's fine. CASA, Mr. Curry is not here. R1, we had a meeting this morning and talked mostly about the EV, electric vehicle charging stations that we've been talking about a little bit. There is, I want to call it discounted pricing that is available to the county through a contract that Region 1 has procured. They're in the process of figuring out how we can work that so that not only R1 members can partake in that, but so that we can also work with a private industry. Say, if McDonald's wants to put up a charging station, how can we work it so they can utilize that contract pricing because it is a discount? There's several levels where we can own the equipment or lease the equipment, and it all just depends on what we want to get to. So as they get that a little more refined, we'll have more and more information on that. And I'm hoping that it'll be something that we can work together and partner with some of our businesses that might be interested. The only catch to all that and working with a business is that it has to be something that would be available to the public 24/7. So at a gas station, at a Walmart, at a grocery store, something like that. It couldn't be at the back parking lot of a fenced in area that gets locked up at 5 o'clock. It's got to be available to the public 24/7. So hopefully that all gets worked out and we can work with that. Next up, I did not see anything for general consent unless something changed. So, you know what, Mr. Curry is not here, so I will have to take Mr. Curry's. For Committee of the Whole Administration, I would move to approve TA-15-2022, Ordinance 22-15, zoning ordinances text amendments.
Second.
Motion by Carl Johnson, seconded by Sherry Gieske. Staff report.
This is a text amendment that will allow an amendment to the definitions section, 1.2, table of permitted uses, section 3.16.1, chapter 4, which will be adding the agritourism limited and intensive uses, as well as amending section 2.8.2D, which is the variance to remove the lot frontage. So the planning department worked with the lot of record ad hoc for the amendments to section 2.8.2D. And then we worked with applicants as well as looking at other counties as to how they manage some agritourism businesses, which is the amendments that you see in this text amendment. The Zoning Board of Appeals voted in favor 4-0 on April 26th. The Committee of the Whole voted in favor with amendments from the Health Department on May 5th. And staff is recommending in favor of TA 15-2022 as presented with these amendments.
Discussion from the board. Seeing none, roll call please.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Gieske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Ronnie Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schwacker,
Yes.
Dave Wiltie.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, I'm going to do this different. I'd accept a motion to approve SUP-16-2022, ordinance 2216, Van Laar special use.
So moved.
Second.
By Mr. Schwacker, seconded by Ms. Gieske. Staff report.
Thank you. This is a special use permit submitted by Brian Van Laar to allow an agritourism use in the form of an indoor farmers market. This is located in the A1 Agricultural Preservation District, west of 11703 Caledonia Road. This project consists of, again, the indoor farmers market with a future orchard, other crops, and youth activities. The Planning Commission voted in favor 3-0 on April 9th. The Zoning Board of Appeals voted in favor of the findings of fact as presented 4-0 on April 26th, as well as voting in favor of the special use with a change to condition number 6. And that vote was 4-0 on April 26th. The committee of the whole voted in favor of the special use with the recommended conditions, as well as that amendment that was made by the county engineer. Staff recommends in favor of the special use 16-2022 with all of those amendments. But I also received a parking site layout from the Van Laars. So after the committee, there was some discussion about the parking lot layout and what that might look like. And so the Van Laars did have that, and I will show it to you right now. And then if the chairman would like, they can come up and so as you can see, they wanted to show you the flow of traffic as well as what they're thinking about in regards to parking spots. The Van Laars are here.
Questions of the board for staff? I have one, Izzy. I see there's some handicap spots there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that consistent with what the ordinances would be for that size of a parking lot, or is that just kind of, in general?
Yep, it's in general, and it is based on the total number of parking spots. So that could change depending on the number, but yes.
Okay, all right. Any other questions for staff? Mr. Wiltsey?
Was that in our board docs, or are you just showing that to us now?
It was just given to me before the meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. First place, let me say that as I have been doing all along, looking at particularly paragraph 7 of the application, this particular case, it's very detailed to the specific uses that the Van Laars want to put this property to, and that's great. With respect to the site plan as it originally was designed, and we couldn't tell the proper parking area, and I wanted to indicate to the board, you may recall that I've talked about parking, and I asked the county engineer, Justin, whether there was a formula or a software program last time, and he said there was, and he has recently emailed myself and Izzy to indicate if the total parking square footage can be divided by 400 to get an estimated number of parking spaces, and that this would be pretty close. Of course, the first drawing that we saw wasn't even a rectangle. It's kind of an odd area, and you can't quite tell how much is to be parking. This obviously gives us the kind of detail we're looking for and the kind of detail I will be asking for on all of these kinds of projects. Thank you.
Any further questions for staff? The applicant is here. Would the applicant like to say anything, make any comments, questions, queries?
Very simply, I'm Julie Van Laar, here tonight with my son Jonathan. Apologize, my husband couldn't make it tonight. But during this special use process, we have listened and tried to answer to the best of our ability the questions that have been asked.
Excuse me, Ms. Van Laar, I'm thinking that's not even working.
Oh, I just hold it. Can you hear me now?
Yep, that works better. There we go.
Okay. During this special use process, we have listened and tried to answer to the best of our ability questions that have been asked and have made some adjustments to our original plans to incorporate various suggestions. Our neighbors asked us to move our building further north on our property. It is currently approximately 500 feet from the edge of the nearest property. We told them that we would look into doing that. And they were concerned that there would not be enough parking and customers would park on Caledonia Road. We agreed to increase the amount of parking that we offer so that this does not happen. They were concerned about the amount and the speed of the traffic. The county engineer recommended that we review our traffic numbers in a few years when they repave the road. At that time, if the county believes it is necessary, we will look into adding a turn lane. They were concerned about litter, and we certainly want an aesthetically pleasing orchard, so we will pick that up. They mentioned fertilizers and sprays. We do need to spray our apple trees, but we use integrated pest management and only spray when necessary, with less harmful sprays than many. At the ZBA hearing, we were asked to keep any future buildings at least 100 feet from residential property lines. We agreed to do that. At the committee meeting of the whole, it was suggested, dust was discussed as a potential concern. So after talking with the county engineer, we have decided to do a gravel base with a milling surface. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And then secondly, we were also asked for a more detailed parking lot site plan, which we tried to put together, which Izzy just presented. So I would just end by saying that we desire to be good neighbors and to comply with the additional requests made during this process. We would appreciate your vote, and thank you so much.
Questions of the applicant? Thank you very much. Any further questions on this one? Mr. Wiltsey?
Originally, I opposed this, as I have done about the site plan and the parking. And I'm very, very pleased to see this site plan. It's probably one of the most detailed ones we've seen ever, if not in a long time. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate what the applicant has just said about all the efforts to meet with area concerns. And so I will be voting in favor of this tonight.
I could, Justin, not to pick on you, but they did mention that they'd consulted with you a little bit on that. When they're talking about the grindings, asphalt grindings, that is that what they're talking about, the millings? Yeah. Okay. All right. Can we just let the record reflect that the Van Laars have offered to make that part of their parking plan, that they'll use a coating of millings to help mitigate dust. I think that's an excellent idea. An excellent project. It has minimal impact for the surrounding area. It's near what eventually will be a more growth area for commercial and industrial stuff, I think. So I will also be voting in favor. Anything further? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Sherry Giesky,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brett Mueller,
Yes.
Ronnie Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacher,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson.
Yes. Motion carries. Next up, I would accept a motion to approve SUP 17-2022, ordinance 22-17, Lopez special use.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley,
Second?
second by Ms. Giesky. Staff report.
This is a special use permit submitted by Freddie Lopez to allow an agritourism use in A1 Agricultural Conservation District. This project is in the form of a petting zoo, farm stand, food trailer, and crop production for U-Pick activities. This is located at 6191 Shattuck Road. The Planning Commission voted in favor 3-0 on April 19th. The Zoning Board of Appeals voted in favor of the findings of fact as presented 4-0 on April 26th. And as well as voting in favor of the special use permit 4-0. The Committee of the Whole voted in favor on May 5th with the proposed conditions, and staff recommends in favor of this project as well as presented with all of the conditions.
Questions of staff? Is the applicant here? Would the applicant like to, would you like to say anything, or? You don't have to if you don't want to. I just want to give you the opportunity if you do, so, okay. Is there any questions of the applicant from committee? Seeing none, one last call for any questions. Mr. Wiltsey.
I just wanted to comment again, Article 7 on the application is detailed, and I see there's a revised site plan. It isn't like the Van Laar site plan, but it is on it, and I will be voting in favor of this.
Sure. Once again, I also think this is a very good project. I want to point out that the lone neighbor was in favor of this project, encouraged both the ZBA and the board to approve this project. That always goes a long way. It has, again, minimal impact on anyone surrounding it. Therefore, I think it's a good project, and looking forward to them providing breakfast for people. Roll call, please.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacker,
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geske.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, I would accept a motion to approve public safety building flat roof replacement project to low bid McDermott Roofing and Insulating Company in the amount of $89,243.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Larson, seconded by Ms. Geske. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacker,
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt.
Yes.
Motion carries. That is all we have from administration. To those that got their special uses tonight, congratulations, and look forward to you guys being a great part of Boone County going forward. Ms. Geske, the floor is yours. Finance.
Thank you very much. I would like a motion to approve claims with the understanding that Carl Johnson abstains from voting on all claims presented by William Charles and on all claims presented from Core and Maine and all claims submitted by the Boone County Highway Department. Bill Robertson abstains from voting on all claims presented by B. Robertson Lock Service.
Motion by Ms. Geske, seconded by Mr. Larson. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacker,
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ms. Geske.
Item 11.2 is a motion to approve a purchasing card for the Public Defender Department for Kate Cross.
Motion by Ms. Geske, seconded by Mr. Larson. Any discussion? We need a voice vote on this, can we? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Geske.
Item 11.3 is a motion to approve the parking lot agreement with Crusader Community Health.
Motion by Ms. Geske, seconded by Mr. Larson. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacker, Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 11.4 is a motion to approve Resolution 22-30 establishing the salary for the Boone County Sheriff.
Motion by Ms. Geske, seconded by Mr. Larson. Discussion. Mr. Riley.
Thank you, sir. Just real quick, in going through this, the only thing that really strikes me in this whole thing that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the state always put in towards the sheriff's salary?
No, they have not.
I didn't think so. I thought. So when you look at section C here, the first of what we're looking at here, 66 2/3% will be paid to the sheriff by the state. I'm a little worried about this. I mean, I know we're just a small board here in Boone County and the state runs their own thing, but I'm not real happy about the fact that the state's going to take over the sheriff's salary. Something about that, and when the state takes over things, that makes me very nervous. I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't know where this is headed. I mean, it certainly helps our budget, and it certainly helps the salary of the sheriff. It takes it out of our hands, kind of. But I just get a little nervous when the state starts taking control of how we spend our money. Just a comment.
Ms. Geske?
I think it's important to note that, yes, the bill was just passed, but I think it's important to note that 2/3 of the salary that's going to be paid is actually coming out of our personal property tax replacement. So I think I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's a shell game. That's our money to begin with, but they're going to, out of the kindness of their heart, pay 2/3. So I don't know if that's a technical term, shell game or not, but that's what it is.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Brian Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacker.
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Yes.
Carl Johnson.
Yes.
Sherry Geeske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller.
Yes. Motion carries. Ms. Kieske.
Item 11.5 is a motion to approve Resolution 22-31, establishing the salary for the Boone County Clerk and Recorder and the Boone County Treasurer.
Motion by Ms. Kieske. Second. Second by Mr. Schabacker. Discussion. Mr. Wiltsey.
I'm just sorry that we kind of kicked down the can down the road on the issue of trying to close up the differential for the treasurer. Voting no on this isn't going to help that issue, but I wanted to state that for the record.
Anything further? Roll call, please.
Steve Schabacker.
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geeske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Brian Riley.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ms. Kieske.
Item 11.6 is a motion to approve Resolution 22-32, County Board Member Compensation.
Motion by Ms. Kieske,
Second.
second by Mr. Riley. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Steve Schabacker.
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geeske,
No.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Brian Riley.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ms. Kieske.
11.7 is a motion to approve Resolution 22-33, establishing the salary for the County Board Chair.
Motion by Ms. Kieske,
Second.
second by Mr. Riley. Discussion. Roll call, Mr. Wiltsey.
Again, I just think it's unfortunate we're not addressing the fact that this is the same thing since 2014.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Dave Wiltsey,
No.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Geeske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartelt,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Brian Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schabacker.
Yes. Motion carries. Ms. Kieske.
That's it for finance. Thank you, Carl.
Wonderful. Next up, building. I don't think we have anybody there right now. UCCI. Dan, are you on the phone? Do you want to say anything? Do we have anything? Now he's scrambling. He didn't expect me to call on him.
He's up.
Dan decided he didn't want to be here. He wanted to go fishing. Family trip. Is he there? Are you there, Dan?
I hope he's not.
He might be on mute. I don't know.
*6 to unmute.
Well, that's okay. You know what? I think I did see an email from UCCI. There was no May meeting, so that's good enough. Community Action 911.
We had a meeting this morning, running smooth, nothing new.
Land Bank, Ms. Gieske, I think you have something exciting to talk about.
I do. I'm very excited about it. And Izzy, can you put the pictures up or not? First of all, you've all heard me chomping at the bit for how many months now about the land bank. And of course, our first house is sold in Boone County / Belvedere. And I had to be Carl Johnson that morning at a different event. So thank you to Dave Wiltsey. He went, and you'll see his picture a little bit. A little bit of background. This is the house on Nettie. I think it's 1,000 Nettie. And this house had at least 5 years of taxes that were not paid. The land bank's cost to acquire this, remember, we don't buy and we just acquire it, was around $4,000. And that's legal cost, getting the judicial deed and all that kind of stuff. The bank or the house was sold to David Reyes for $41,414. And it is now listed for $189,900. And he thinks he's going to get a price even more than that. And I think it was Wendy Frank is the alderman there, and she stated that this was the house, the number one complaints for years. So with that, Izzy, can you whip through it so you can, so these are the before pictures. And go ahead, and there you go, there's the inside. It's like watching the show Hometown on HGTV. This is before. Now here we are after. Outside. And what they found under the garbage and the rugs were these beautiful hardwood floors. So go ahead. Redid the bathrooms. I think, was there 3 of them, Dave? I think so.
2, I think.
And here is the group that was there. I'm so sad I couldn't be there. I was so excited about it. But if you notice, there's our very own Dave Wiltsey in his hat. We wouldn't miss him. And the second person to his right is actually Eric, that is our land bank administrator. And if you go all the way over to the other side, second from the right is, of course, Michael Dunn. So it was a huge, wonderful success. And you could go on Zillow, or let me see, you can go on Zillow and look it up. And you'll find out what the status is and if it's sold and all that kind of stuff. So it was a great victory for the land bank. And June 1st, the Rockford Chamber of Commerce is, their luncheon is highlighting strictly the land bank. So Dan and I are going to attend. So that will be quite exciting also. And all the other board members, in addition to myself on the land bank, will be there. Questions? Dave, thank you again. You enjoyed it, right?
Oh, I really did. It was exciting. And, he said he already had 10 showings the day before this ribbon cutting, and he had 15 more people that he hadn't need. Dave, this is the developer or builder, and then he had 15 more people that he hadn't have a chance to click on yet to set up appointments. So for showings. And it's just, you look at those before and after pictures and you realize how much this means to the neighborhood. And they did a great job. That's really nice.
Ms. Kieske?
And I'll hammer it again. I'll hammer it home again. If you hear of any property, it doesn't matter. If you think it might be eligible for the program, let me know and I'll get it to Eric, or we can just go Eric directly. It doesn't matter if you're right or if you're wrong. I've submitted, I don't know how many. Dave has given me a couple of properties. The land bank can now take empty lots. So that's something else. So far, the interesting thing about rural Boone County is they all pay their taxes no matter if it's a rundown property or not. So none of them are eligible, or none of them that I've submitted so far are eligible. But anyhow, please, anything you hear, let me know. Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to congratulate this board for being on top of this and wanting to be a part of the land bank. I know it was, when it came up, it was kind of controversial, kind of new, and there was a lot of, what was me, and are we sure we want to do this? I think this is just amazing. We took a property that you said was 3 years off the tax roll, 5 years.
At least five.
And it was just decaying and an eyesore, not to mention the health risks of, Lord knows what was living in there. And somebody bought it for a considerable sum of money for what kind of shape it was in. Now they're going to profit from it. The family's going to get a nice home and it's going to be back on the tax rolls. That's amazing. I'm so glad we did that. And I really want to thank this board for having the courage to do that, despite of people objecting. Any other committees? Scheduling of committees, Ms. Gieske.
Let's see. The next committee of the whole for finance will be on Thursday, June 9th at 6 p.m. right here.
And the next committee of whole administrative will be on June 2nd, 6 p.m. in this room. I don't think we have any unfinished business. Before we get too far here, though. Mr. Street, are you able to chat? Is there anything you want to say? Anything we need to know from you at this point?
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
There he is. Hi, Dan. Happy fishing.
Thank you, Carl. Nothing to report tonight. I apologize earlier. Nothing new on UCCI as well.
Okay, super. All right. Next up, board member comments. Mr. De La Trinidad.
Yeah, real quick, we're gonna have a Welcome Spring Festival. It'll be on the 29th and the 30th. I left a flyer for you guys. It's front and back. Basically what's gonna happen is Fiesta Market and RP Lumber kind of got together and they thought about having this event at their own parking lots there. And so we're gonna have carnival rides, food, DJs, bands, and it's an event for the whole Boone County community. So, bring your kids, your family. If you guys, are not doing anything, just come out and support. And, yeah, hope you guys all show up. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Freddie. Anyone else? Ms. Bartel.
Yes, you brought up growth dimensions. I would like to say something about that.
Ms. Bartel, if I could just make sure you pull your microphone closer. Thank you.
You brought up growth dimensions. I'd like to say something about that. You read the letter. I'm going to add this to it. If anybody would like to see their previous records, I would be glad to print them off and give them to you. I am glad that Mr. Oberman decided to look into this and make sure that all their stuff is now brought current because it was not at one time. So I will say this much. I'm glad that he brought it forward. Hopefully they will not have any problems in the future. But I feel that in looking into growth dimensions, it is taxpayers' money that is put into them. I feel that we, the people of this board, have the right to question when somebody is not doing something correctly and maybe bring it forward and have it brought to whoever is in charge of that type of board at that time. That is our responsibility. If we are giving out taxpayer money, we want to know that the group that is getting it is doing everything correctly. And that's all I have to say.
Mr. Wiltsey.
Just briefly, it was indicated several times in this discussion when this has come up here on this council floor by Pam Fettis that they were current, that they did file, but that the state was in a backlog of updating the computer. Look at the attachment to the letter. That tax return is dated August 26, 2021. She had indicated it had been sent in many, many, many months earlier. So yes, you're right, Sherry. We have the right and obligation to inquire into this. But in this particular case, it wasn't delinquent. It was slow processing by the state.
Ms. Gieske.
And as a point of reference, there is a lot of money that is put into growth dimensions from private entities too, private corporations. It's not just our tax dollars.
Anything else? Okay. Don't believe we have any correspondence. I do need executive session for litigation and land acquisition. So I'd ask for a motion to go into, pending litigation. So I'd ask for a motion to go into executive session for those two items. Riley, seconded by Mr. Schubacher. Roll call, please.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Sherry Gieske,
Yes.
Sherry Bartel,
Yes.
Freddie De La Trinidad,
Yes.
Ray Larson,
Aye.
Brent Mueller,
Yes.
Rodney Riley,
Yes.
Steve Schubacher.
Yes.
Dave Wiltsey.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are in executive session at 7:28 p.m.